Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty cool news to get to go and cover. Now, as you guys probably know, the PlayStation 5, even Xbox, and the Switch have a very large amount of old and sometimes dormant IPs. I myself have been a very long proponent, if you guys watch my channel a lot, that there are certain old school games, such as say like Sly Cooper, that I would absolutely love to go and have them had a chance to remake and make their own brand new 2020, almost 2025 versions, and kind of let us go and enjoy the old school IPs, or even old school games such as even like Infamous, and there is just a lot. Now, we do keep on getting a lot of remakes from things, say, like The Last of Us, or, other various games, sure, but at the same time, I don't mind if we have a lot of remakes and a lot of remasters, if they're not every other 2 years and it's not The Last of Us or God of War or Horizon or Spider-Man over and over and over again. Like I said, there's old school games that, well, although they're not the most dated from like say the PlayStation 2 or even the PlayStation 3, I do think there's a lot of really cool games and IPs that should be being utilized. And with the same conversation also came to Xbox, whereas we saw from the Activision acquisition from Xbox themselves, there's a lot of old school dormant games that, in my honest opinion, should be, well, revived. And we should go play them. Things like old school Rock Band and Guitar Hero, or even things like, Crash Bandicoot, or just, well, Jack and Dexter. There's a lot of old school IPs that I think a lot of people grew up with and loved, and I do think they deserve to have a little bit more love. And that's kind of where the basis of this video is going to go. We actually have two crazy good news. Number one, on the fact that we had a big interview from Famitsu that PlayStation, like the CEOs right now, are opening and wanting to bring back old IPs. I'm going to try my best to showcase up some other ones that I'm intrigued on, and as well also the fact that there is still the option of expanding into other IPs, such as all these really popular games such as Stellar Blade or Death Stranding 2, and well, just basically showing that the future of the PlayStation actually might be a little bit cooler than we might expect. Now, I've also been a little bit on the skepticism side myself, because a lot of the times we haven't really had a big game that we're looking forward to. Right now, the only big major PlayStation title that's like a PlayStation exclusive is maybe Ghost of Ikai, which I'm excited for. There's also like the Wolverine and some other various kind of leaked out, we're not really sure the status of them type games, and obviously some other third-party games like Monster Hunter Wilds, which I'm very excited for. But right now, there is only like one or two titles, even on the PlayStation standard, that I'm hyped up for. And well, at the same time, even for Xbox, there's a few like Fable that I'm excited for too as well, but I've also been a little bit on the skeptical side for Xbox. They've had some pretty good, okay games, like Indiana Jones wasn't horrible, but at the same time, it wasn't like groundbreaking or this, oh my god, this must be a, well, the craziest game I've ever played, you know what I mean? But they're so cool. So we're going to talk about this, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on if you guys want to get last minute giveaway entries or still waiting for the giveaway respondent to respond, and also obviously subscribe to the second YouTube account. They'll be more active on the upcoming year. The two Twitters, I'm going to be a lot more on the second Twitter, the Scrubbing YouTube Twitter, and of course the Twitch and affiliate links down below. And sorry for the long intro, but I think this will be a fun video to get to go and talk about. Also, it's gonna be my mom's birthday, so we're doing dinner with her, just in case you just want random life updates. So very first and foremost, the biggest story is that PlayStation, the co-CEO, is now open to bringing back a lot of these OG classic franchises. And it's kind of like the news of like the weekend over here. And also, it's gonna be really cool news for the future, saying when Astrobot released in September, many players love the nod of the history of Sony and PlayStation classics throughout the game. And I agree, like there is a good history. We've even seen things like PlayStation Rivals, where they, have all these various IPs, like their own iteration of Smash Bros. And it's kind of what Astrobot was, and why a lot of people in the gaming sphere liked it. From tributes to the more recent franchises like Horizon and Uncharted to older series like Ape Escape, the game fed into nostalgia in a big way. This has led to questions about whether PlayStation could dip into its backlog of classic franchises for new games in the future. In a new interview with Famitsu, PlayStation's co-CEO Herman Hulst was asked about the past PlayStation series and the possibility of bringing them back. And according to Hulst, it's not something that's out of the question for the company. Like I mentioned, we've seen a lot of remakes, remasters, which I don't like, even in the movie sphere itself. I've had so many different iterations of, say, Superman. You guys probably saw the trailer this week, or just various Marvel titles, Batman, like everything at this point, all the Iron Man games, whatever, not games, but you know what I mean. But like, it's just like we see the remakes nonstop. They know what works. And I don't really like that. I usually do enjoy new IPs and new experiences, like say Horizon or Death Stranding. I like the idea of people trying something new that maybe have a history behind it. And not every game can be a remake or a remaster, but especially when there's in these weird lulls, I would almost rather prefer a remake or remaster than nothing. And that's kind of like, I think, the big point, like that line right there, because of focus on that, from my opinion. where I do think that we have these old school games, like say Sly Cooper, and I've always said on my channel, Sly Cooper is a banging game. Imagine this on the PS5 with better graphics, kind of like that Ratchet and Clank art style, with like just more up-to-date games and platformers. And with Astrobot also having a good platforming experience, I can see it working out very well. So the numerous IP holdings we hold are important assets for PlayStation, same for Xbox too, as part of our efforts to strengthen our portfolio, which they need to. Like, we can't only keep on playing Last of Us Part 3 and then remaking it for PC, and then hoping it's going to be on the PS6, and then remaking The Last of Us Part 1 on the PS6 again. Like, we just can't keep doing this. I don't mind, I'll play it, but like, I think you guys would probably understand and probably agree. Like, we need new IPs, and if you also just want to have a dormant IP, why not? Like, there's probably people out there who have never even played a Sly Cooper game who would probably enjoy it and probably like it. May not sell like 100 million copies, but if you go sell a few million, if it's well made and people like it and enjoy it, make YouTube videos on it, whatever, why not? You know, why not? Basically, Holst also said too as well, basically saying, you know, we're trying to leverage these past IPs as we develop new franchises. Yes. And Holst added that the company's goal is not to release games made by the best developers, whether they are a part of PlayStation, or is to release, whether a part of PlayStation studios or not. He tipped the hat to external studios for the many successes so far, which I also want to go and dive on into because that's kind of a big news. Basically saying they're going to keep on working with these parties and making good games all throughout the world to provide joy and fresh experiences to PlayStation players who are constantly reviewing the contents to as well want to have new genres. And this is also in regards to things like, say, Stellar Blade. This game was probably my game of the year last year. I mean, maybe a little bit niche side, but it was like a Dark Soulsy waifu game. Who doesn't like this? Was great, well made, very good soundtrack, music, everything. Never played Rise of Ronin, but I heard good reviews on it. Not like a 10 out of 10, but this kind of fits into something new. That same Ghost of Tsushima type vibe, but it was something nice and different. I believe this was Final Fantasy. Obviously, everyone enjoys having games like Final Fantasy sitting around. And Death Stranding 2, I'm going to play the absolute living out of this game because I really enjoyed Death Stranding 1. More so for the cutscene, the story, and the world building and all that, but that's what makes me excited for this game. It's going to be a weird, unique, different experience. And this is where the third parties are. And hopefully future PlayStation titles as well. I want these unique experiences that no one else has ever dealt with. Like Death Stranding 2 will be unique. Same with Death Stranding 1. And this is what I like. I like the fact that PlayStation's basically promising us, we're going to give you some brand new stuff, whether it's from third parties or whether it's just from themselves or bring back old school things. And I'm into this. Also said that the company's goal is not to release games by these developers. As we mentioned, they just want to have everyone, like all these things that we've just covered too as well. So the idea of reviving past franchises, which if you guys agree, leave a like or comment down below of what you guys would want to see remade. But I do agree because even Sega right now, and we've covered this on the channel, or have all these old school IPs like Golden Axe, Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Streets of Rage, and all these other various games that people are familiar with. Like, even if you've never heard of, say, Golden Axe, I'm sure you guys have heard of Crazy Taxi. And if you haven't heard of Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, one of the best games out there when I was a kid, loved that game back in the day. Streets of Rage I've heard of, but maybe not as beloved. But like, these are games that people all like. So whether PlayStation decides to bring back classic titles down the line obviously remains to be seen. Still has to be nice for longtime fans of the studios to see that the door isn't closed if the right opportunity comes along. And this is where like some IPs are cool. Like this is just a random article talking about like Ape Escape and some of these old school titles and IPs. Like I would love to have an Ape Escape game. I'd never heard of Ark the Lad before, but I mean, this guy has feet and a head. I mean, I might be into it. Who knows? Astrobot obviously is kind of cool. Bloodborne, I would actually unironically love to have a PS5 Pro version or PC version of Bloodborne. I'm sure most people would. Or a Bloodborne 2. Like, this is an easy IP to work with when it comes to these games. I'm very down. Days Gone, I think there was rumors to maybe have a successor of this. We touched on that in a prior video. I don't think they want to make a Days Gone 2, but like a spiritual successor, like a very similar style game as well. Dreams, this game was cool. I played this on the PS, I believe, 4, but like this is basically Little Big Planet. Remake Little Big Planet. Like, bring this back, bro. Give us a brand new Little Big Planet for PS5. I'm down. Like, why not? Golf games too as well. I don't know what Fat Princess is too. We have the Ghost of Tsushima Ikai. Brand new God of War be nice. Gran Turismo at some point. Gravity Rush. I remember old school Gravity Rush from back in the day too as well. There's old school Vita games out there on top of that, like PlayStation Vita and PSP games too. Infamous is one I was discussing even on this video as well. I would love to have a remake on this. Never heard of Invitamals. But like, I mean, I don't know, this kind of reminds me of the Katamari game. You know, we would kind of roll around in a ball. Like, why not, dudes? There's an animated series PS3 game. Like, bro, bring it back. Jack and Dexter, this was a very beloved IP. This should be remade. Same with Sly Cooper. Never heard of Jet Moto before as well. Killzone, I'm surprised we have not had one for the PS5 Pro or PS6. Like, this was basically meant to be the Call of Duty killer. So like, why are we not making more of these? I mean, yeah, you have Call of Duty right this second, but bro, make more of these, you know? Knack, I don't even think I have to even make a comment on Knack 2 as well. Give us a Last of Us Part 3 as well. Little Big Planet, as I mentioned, give us a remake on this. Never heard of Loco Roco on top of that. Medieval, I think they actually did just make a remake for this one. Just had a big one out not too long ago as well. Motorstorm, that also gives me back to the... what's the one game, and I'm sure you guys might leave a comment on this one. It's going to bother me unless I figure it on out. What was the one game? Like Twisted Metal. Dude, okay, I'm happy I got it so people don't roast me in the comments. Twisted Metal, we had the TV show that performed well. Why not give us a new updated version? Parappa the Rapper is always a weird niche game. Or like that random Captain Underpants guy, but it wasn't. No, that's the random children's book, you know what I mean. Like the little cartoony thing. Potapon over here, Ratchet and Clank, like Resistance would be another good one. All these IPs give us a new Returnal, Shadow of the Colossus. I think they're actually just announced one at the Game of the Year Awards for an updated version. That one, SingStar, why not? Obviously Sly Cooper. Like there's so many SOCOM, like there's so many IPs out there that are kind of just sitting around and dormant. So why are we not playing and utilizing? Thank God, I would have got that either way. Twisted Metal, a new Uncharted, Until Dawn, although they just did the remake for it. But like there's so many more even sitting around. But there's at least like 4 or 5 games that I can imagine there being something even cooler for us to go make off this. So why are we not? Why are we not? So I guess it's kind of good that they're saying that we might. So I'm excited. Let me know what game you guys would want to see remade, because Xbox also has had similar thoughts with their Activision acquisition, and I'm just excited to see more games. So give me your thoughts and comments. I'm kind of excited. It's actually kind of good news, I'd say, for once in the near future. So appreciate you guys all. Subscribe if you guys are new. Put on the notifications. Second YouTube channel down below. Definitely subscribe there, or 2 Twitter accounts and all that. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.